You may be seated. To officially open our ceremonies, may I call on the AC Education President, Mr. Fred Ayala, for his welcome remarks.
Good morning, everyone. It's really wonderful to see all of you here. This seemed like it was very far off in the future when we started talking about it, so it's amazing that we are here, all gathered here today. So on behalf of the Ayala Group, Ayala Education, University of Nueva Cáceres, and myself as a co-convener and a Brown alumni, I really just wanted to welcome you and say quite a lot of thank yous before we get going. So really, I'd like to welcome our 50 participants from all over the Philippines and from all over ASEAN. And in total, there are 100 folks participating in this conference, including all of our volunteers. Thank you, they've been all so helpful, and the speakers, and all the different people who have helped to make this happen. Personally, I'm very excited to find a great intersection between Brown University and the Philippines. I've always wanted to find a way to tap all the knowledge and expertise of Brown with the challenges and all the issues that we face here in the Philippines. So just a bit of a story. It was in April 2017. I was at an alumni event in Hong Kong when Brown's president, Christine Paxson, and the director of the Watson Institute, Ed Steinfeld, were talking about all the many things Brown was doing, and it really caught my attention when they mentioned HI Squared, Humanitarian Innovation Initiative. And one thing led to another. They introduced me to Adam Levine over here, and eventually to Seth, and those discussions led us to realize there really was a great intersection between their work in the Philippines, where, as we know, we're world class in disasters. So really there was a great need to connect the two. So I'm very happy that after our 1 year of planning, we have been able to figure out this conference, which I think is such a relevant topic. We all know that disaster is one of the biggest challenges we have. And it is our challenge to train and develop all of our communities so that on their own, in coordination with help from local government and national government, they can become resilient so that they can withstand and bounce back as quickly as possible. So with that, let me just thank some important contributors to this conference. Let me start by recognizing our host and co-convener who has made possible this fantastic venue. I think you'll all agree this is such a beautiful university. Let me now thank our co-convener president, Luis Caligo. Luis? I think Luis was very gracious when I ambushed him and said, Luis, would you mind co-hosting this, because we thought it would be a perfect pairing between Holy Angel and PDRF. So, which leads me to my other co-convener, the Philippine Disaster Resilience Foundation, who are truly doing something unique by organizing the private sector in an institutionalized fashion to partner with government. So let me recognize PDRF, whose goal is to become an international education and training hub for disaster preparedness, for which this event obviously is a perfect launching event. So could I just recognize my co-convener, Bill Luz, as well as Veron. Where is Veron? About Dawn. He's organizing in the back, and Tony, who's also organizing, and all the PDRF folks, can you raise your hands? Of course, a special thank you to the leaders from and Watson Institute's HI Squared. You've already met him yesterday, but I'll ask him to just say hello again. Adam Levine, the Director, and Program Manager Seth Stulan. I'm not sure if he came out yesterday, but Seth has a very special connection to the Philippines. He is married to a Filipina. You may not know that, so he brought pasalubong to all his relatives. He's been well trained. I have to say it's been really a pleasure planning with Adam and Seth. It's been so smooth and so easy. We've really been on the same page. So really looking forward to this event becoming another great example of Brown's initiative of BIARI Beyond Brown. The whole idea is no longer requiring the world to go to Brown, but somehow Brown actually going out to the world to share its resources and expertise. A very, very special thank you to our BIARI alumni who have been to Providence, have gone through the training, and are so passionate about what they learned. They were very excited to replicate BIARI here in the Philippines. So let me just call on Zbig, who came all the way from Poland. He was telling us he had to take a bus and a train and a plane. It took him a long time to get here. Our alumni Rajneesh, who's from Nepal, but has actually studied at Ateneo, I understand. And our local experts, Clarence, who you all know well by now. Mark, where's Mark? There's Mark. I think behind the scenes there were 3 or 4 other BIARI alumni from around the world who did a tremendous amount of work helping to screen and prepare. But I think we have a very, very special thank you to one person who is not here. Her name is Pam Kahidig. She's from the most recent BIARI class. She's getting her master's in Australia, so she had to leave, but she's really been heart and soul here. And the other heart and soul, I will embarrass her, is Corinne Gonzalez over there. Can you just wave, Corinne? Corinne looks like she's fresh, but she's not slept in 2 weeks. So thank you, Corinne, for putting this all together. And of course, a special thank you to our speakers from around the world, 2 of whom I think are in the plane landing any moment now, we hope. But one of them has arrived ahead of time from Harvard's Humanitarian Institute. Let me introduce Enzo. He'll be one of our very first speakers, so we're very privileged to have all of these experts from abroad. But we also have a terrific group of local experts. The very first one we will be hearing from is someone I'm sure very well known to all of you. And in fact, I think many school children know his name because he's such an expert on a very relevant topic, the topic of volcanology. So the head of PhilVolts for a long time, and now Undersecretary for the Department of Science and Technology. A big thank you, please, to Yusek Suligo. Apart from the PDRF volunteers and secretary, there are others beyond PDRF from University of Nueva Cáceres and other institutions, including a Brown parent who was at the launch on Saturday. I'm not sure if Sue is here already, but we have quite a lot of volunteers who are helping out here. So thank you to all of them. And last but very much not least, a thank you to the almost 50 of you who have made a big sacrifice to come here from all over the country and are investing a whole week to bring your expertise, your experience, and your passion. Thank you for joining us here. I'm happy that we have so many from Naga, my mom's hometown, and where UNC Nueva Cáceres is based. So I'm happy about that. In closing, BIARI Philippines is really a call to help solve one of our most enduring challenges, which is only going to get worse. And really, it's up to us. We cannot shy away from these challenges. It's really best for us to learn from each other and figure out how we can apply those learnings and ideally institutionalize this network so that we go beyond a one-week conference, so that we go beyond just an exchange of ideas. And I guess my call is really for us to remember the three things that HI Squared is about. You are here, you are all here, we are all here for three reasons, right? Let's remember what HI Squared stands for. We are here to innovate, we are here to initiate, and above all, we are here to be human, right? I mean, that is why we are here. So my challenge to everyone here is how can we figure out a way to disseminate our learnings as broadly as possible and to institutionalize an organization. I'm not sure how, I'm sure you will figure it out, whether it be councils or a Facebook group, I don't know what it is, but I really hope that this group becomes the nucleus of something very long-term and very enduring. So with that, welcome. Thank you again to our host. And let me just welcome the Vice Mayor of Angeles, Vice Mayor Nepomuceno. If we can thank you. I think we have a formal thank you, but thank you very much for Angeles hosting this. Really, it's very appropriate that we hold this in Angeles. Angeles, of course, went through Mount Pinatubo and survived it, and not only survived it, when you look around, look at how it has bounced back. I think Mayor Ed Mintuan, it's great that he is the president of the League of Cities and has a chance to disseminate all these learnings. So thank you so much, Vice Mayor, for hosting us. Good morning, everyone. Thank you.
So much, sir. At this point, let us listen to the father of Holy Angel University, the president of this university, Dr. Luis Maria Calino.
Good morning, everyone. I had a life-changing event last July 15, which is a kidney transplant. And this is literally my third day back on campus. And so if you promise me that you will not sneeze or cough, then I will not be wearing this. Honorable Vice Mayor Brian Matthew Nepomuceno, Renato Solidum, he is our Suki here on campus, Undersecretary of DOST, faculty, participants, the conveners, fellow conveners of the BIARI on community resilience for natural disasters, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very pleasant morning to you all. I would like to welcome you all to Holy Angel University, the host of BIARI Philippines. This year, Holy Angel is celebrating the 85th year of our founding as the first independent and co-educational Catholic school in the Philippines. Independent meaning we are not affiliated with any religious congregation. In June of 1933, Holy Angel Academy opened its doors to a modest group of 78 high school students in the convent of Holy Rosary Parish, which is our parish next door. The school was initiated through the joint efforts of the late philanthropist and businessman Don Juan de Dios Nepomuceno and the pastor of Holy Rosary Parish, Father Pedro Paulo Santos. Later on, Father Pedro Santos became the Archbishop of the Diocese of Nueva Cáceres and was instrumental in the founding of the University of Nueva Cáceres. So given our shared beginnings, when Fred approached me last year with the idea of UNC and HAU co-organizing with others, BIARI Philippines, it was a classic no-brainer. So we're like siblings in a way. Holy Angel now has close to 20,000 students in various liberal arts-based professional disciplines, but you will not see many of them around this week as we are on our semestral break. So if you see students there floating around, they're actually taking makeup classes or probably makeup exams. There is perhaps no better place to hold an institute on community resilience for natural disasters than Angeles City, and more specifically, Holy Angel University. Our university survived, our city survived the cataclysmic 1991 eruption of Mount Pinatubo. Although that eruption literally brought severe damage to many of our buildings, pretty much Holy Angel almost closed down at that time. The roof of the gymnasium fell through because of the weight of the ash and so on. Our university leaders at that time literally rallied the city in its rehabilitation. It reminds me of the time when I was back in the United States when Hurricane Katrina arrived in the East Coast. And it was actually Tulane University who literally rallied the city of New Orleans in the rehabilitation of New Orleans. And that was the role that Holy Angel played at that time, in 1991. So at that time, we not only reopened the university, but also sought national accreditation for all of our accreditable degree programs, pretty much to signal to the rest of the world, the rest of the city, that business as usual. So during your free time here, I would invite you to visit our Center for Kapampangan Studies, where our Pinatubo Museum is located. It's actually just in the next building for us. So to officially open the Brown International Advanced Research Institute on Community Resilience for Natural Disasters, we are very fortunate to have with us one of the visionary leaders of our city. Our city has been at the forefront of best practices in community disaster and risk management. Attorney Ed Pamintuan, who's supposed to join us today, unfortunately had a medical emergency this morning. But as of yesterday, when we were texting each other, he was actually looking forward to being here. But let me just share you something about him. He has been mayor of Angeles City since 2010 and has been the national president of the League of Cities of the Philippines for the past 2 years. Now, under his leadership, the city has received such awards as the Seal of Good Local Governance, the Seal of Child-Friendly Local Governance, and the third most competitive city in the Philippines, among others. He has also been named the most outstanding mayor of the Philippines every year since 2014, and was also named top 8 among the top 10 mayors of the world. Among his important engagements for the country has been his service in 2016 on the Philippine Governance Panel for the formal peace negotiations with the National Democratic Front, which brought him to Italy, Norway, and the Netherlands. Holy Angel is also proud to refer to him as an alumnus and a good friend. So representing Mayor Ed Pamintuan, or Ed Pam as we fondly call him today, is the Vice Mayor of the City of Angeles, Brian Matthew Nepomuceno, a good friend of the university as well. So ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together to welcome our Honorable Vice Mayor, Brian Matthew.
Thank you, Dr. Calindo. On behalf of the City Mayor, Ed Pamintuan, and he would like to send you his apologies. He had a medical emergency, but don't worry, it's not serious. I think he just ate something that caused him to have fever-like symptoms this morning. And I guess he was feeling, he really was looking forward to this because it is one of his greatest achievements to discuss how Angeles City rose from the ashes. Nevertheless, he called me early this morning to speak on his behalf. So, to our esteemed conveners of this event, Dr. Adam Levine. Where's Dr. Levine? I was wondering if you were the front man of Maroon 5, but I did not know. Yeah. But equally good looking, and I hope as well as at singing as well. So, Mr. Guillermo Lucer, good morning. Again, Dr. Luis Maria Calindo, and Mr. Fred Ayala, Undersecretary Renato Solido of the Department of Science and Technology, local and international experts in disaster mitigation, participants to and partners of the BIARI Philippines program on community resilience for natural disasters. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant morning to everyone. 27 years ago, on June 15, 1991, Angeles City was hit by a great disaster. The cataclysmic eruption of Mount Pinatubo, which was said to be the second biggest volcanic eruption in the world in modern history. The damage to everything we have, even our very psyche, was unimaginable. We can hardly describe through words what happened to our city then. In the same manner that I cannot find the right words to tell the story of how we as a city survived and rose from the ashes. How the city rebuilt after only a year and the remarkable resilience of our people. In fact, it is being celebrated every October since 1992 with a month-long festival of prayer, thanksgiving, and merriment. The culmination of which is on October 26 and 27, which we call the Tiktigan Terahan Tingdalan or TTKD, a two-night Mardi Gras music and dancing on the streets, attended by close to 100,000 people. To interpret it basically means music and dancing in the streets. Believe it or not, but rock and roll through the TTKD had much to do about our recovery. I remember those who lived in tents and temporary shelters came in droves when they heard the bands playing on the streets. Suddenly, the fun was back. Angeleños are fun-loving people, and with fun came back the collective will to hurdle and triumph over the adversity. I hope some of you can stay this weekend. Adam Levine might be performing. I will announce to the people of Angeles. To witness how our people remember and celebrate a triumph over the disaster. The disaster, in truth, welded us together, and we became a better community than before. Yes, Mayor Ed would love to share with you his story, how he and all of the rest of the people of Angeles made it, how it could be an interesting study for everyone. But he supposed that there's supposed to be here just to welcome us today. On behalf of Mayor Ed, may I just say that you are on hallowed ground insofar as resilience and recovery from disaster is concerned. And I would like to welcome everyone to Angeles. Thank you for choosing our city, particularly Holy Angel University as a venue for this important event. Thank you very much. Pleasant morning to everyone.
Thank you so much, Vice Mayor Brian Luceno, for gracing our event with your presence. This time, I will give the floor to Mr. Bill Luz for his message and also to introduce to us our keynote speaker this morning.
Thank you. Well, can you imagine if we just announced Adam Levine was in town for a festival this weekend? This place would go crazy. Anyway, good morning, everybody. I know you're going to have a very, very long program today, and it's going to be very tight and throughout the week. So I only want to emphasize one point which I stated yesterday, which is that you and we were all brought together for a purpose and for a mission. And the mission wasn't to bring you here for 1 week, but the mission really here is to sort of multiply from your numbers so that we can build up this culture capacity for resilience, for preparedness, for prevention, for mitigation across the country, and of course in the other countries you represent for ASEAN. So we're hoping that you bring back the lessons from here and teach others within your own communities, whether it's in government, private sector, the academic community, or the NGOs, to be able to build a more resilient Philippines and a more resilient ASEAN. So that's the mission why we brought you here. And I can't think of a better person to get you started on this mission than our speaker, our keynote speaker this morning. Most of you already know him, and every time we've had disasters, particularly earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, he's the go-to guy for all of us to find out what's happening, and he's the go-to guy for the media to find out and explain to people what is happening. We've worked with the Undersecretary a long time, dating back, I don't know how far back, maybe a month or two, but there's been a few other blasts since then, my own most recently. But officially is the Undersecretary of Science and Technology. We all know him, of course, as the director for FIVOLTS. And he's the guy, I think, responsible for telling people that in order for us to prepare and to act, we must prepare our imagination. We need to visualize what's happening so we can spur ourselves to act. So let me introduce to you a very good friend of all of ours, Undersecretary Rene Solido.
Thank you, Bill. Good morning, everyone. Of course, to the President of the Holy Angel, to our visitors from different countries, to our partners from the civil society organizations and the local governments and the academy, most especially to those coming from Brown, or the alumni of Brown. I'm proud to be Brown. Not as alumnus of Brown University, but proud to be a Filipino. Brown. Anyway, I have my first time. I've been here before, but talking about preparedness. But I was asked to talk about resilience and its building block. But I'd like to change the topic a little bit to something that we Filipinos know more about. That is topic of spirit of resilience, but I'd like to make sure that our spirit of resilience is converted to complete disaster resilience actions. I can say that having a spirit is good, but a spirit must be made flesh. We need to hard actions, to have hard actions. Next slide. So my PowerPoint is voice activated, very high technology. So when I say next slide, please press the button. If you look at the global exposure to various natural hazards, according to the UNU World Risk Report, you would see that many countries have pink to dark pink color, including the United States, but most especially Southeast Asia. And different countries suffer from different natural hazards. Next slide. Next, please. For example, second week of October, Hurricane Michael traversed the Florida state and other states north of it and affected many cities in Florida. You can see the devastation of houses, facilities, buildings, down power lines because of the strong wind and even storm surges and floods. Next slide. Sorry. Please go back. One more. Several weeks before that, tropical cyclone or typhoon Mangkok, or in the Philippines called Ompong, devastated northern Luzon. Strong winds devastated houses and buildings, destroyed agricultural crops, down power lines. Next slide, please. And heavy rains caused flooding that destroyed roads and bridges, but more importantly, triggered catastrophic landslides in many areas, especially in the mountainous region of the Cordilleras. This event has shown to us that we, as a community,